mentioned, that people came to you with all sorts of challenges because you're dealing with, the entire human being, humanology. And is there one that stands out that you get more often than anything else with your clients?
Well, I get all kinds, but there's a lot of interest in personal essence. For example, lots of people come to me when they discover what it means and ask me to help them discover their personal essence. So I'll briefly mention what it is so people understand what we're talking about. Personal essence is something that I discovered a few years back that is in every human being. Personal essence is what a person is upon birth, and that which never changes until death. If you take twins, for example, identical twins, according to modern science, they should be the same because they have the same genetic map and they have no experiences upon birth. But parents will tell you that even from minute one, those twins behave differently. They are indeed different. They do not react the same way. If they were exactly identical, they would have the same reactions and the same responses, but they don't. That is, in my theory, because of personal essence. Once people discover their personal essences, it's like life clicks, and they start understanding their past and why people react to them the way they do, and why they themselves react to the world the way they do. Personal essence is like the innermost nature of human beings. And we describe, together with other professionals, we describe a method, or we created a method that can help people discover what their personal essence is. And then I help them use it to their advantage. So tons of people came to me from all around the world to discover what their personal essence is. We've had seminars and workshops, and people have looked for their personal essence and discovered their personal essence almost everywhere. And that is a very, very common request. People wanting to discover what their personal essence is. And then another very, very common one is anxiety. I have people come to me because they suffer from anxiety. It could be associated to some kind of problem like depression or not, or just because. And well, some of the techniques and some of the tools we give them seem to work quite well and help them even overcome long lasting anxiety. For example, just to mention two of them. Are those enough, Michael?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so those are two of the issues that we find most commonly.
Okay.
Anxiety and personal essence, for example.
Okay, perfect. Okay. On personal essence, if you were going to give 3 tips to someone on how they might discover that on their own, what would those 3 tips be?
It's not possible. I haven't been able to describe a way for persons to identify their personal essence on their own. It's the only part of the model in which we need a professional helping them. Discovering a person's personal essence usually takes about 2 to 3 hours. And it's very intense, very, very detailed work they have to do with a humanologist. It's not that easy. And it sometimes takes longer. But once you find it, your whole life changes.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be individual to each person. Some people might take 3 hours, and other people maybe 2.5, 2:45, and others may take much, much longer. I'm sure it's individualized for sure, because that is so uniquely personal. As you say, personal essence, and everybody is unique and everybody is different. So I can certainly understand that, and that makes sense, Jessica. What about anxiety? Are there 3 tips that you can give people that suffer from anxiety that they may be able to use on their own?
Yeah. Well, anxiety, as I recently wrote on an article, is nothing but fear, okay? We get anxious when we have the question, what if, in front of us? When we start worrying, and worry becomes fear, and fear turns into anxiety. All those are just forms of fear. Fear, one of the tips I can give people is that fear, all kinds of fear, is always in the future. There's no fear in the present. Fear is always a reaction to the question, what if? What if that dog bites me? What if I fall off the cliff? What if a person assaults me? What if? Because what if is a conditional tense. It's always in the future. It's not happening yet. So we're really worried and scared about something that might happen later on. It could be a very immediate future. What if this dog here bites me? But it hasn't bitten you yet. So first tip, fear is always in the future. It's not in the present. And the antidote to fear is always action. Fear paralyzes us. Fear freezes us. So whenever you're in fear, force yourself to move. If you move, if you stand up, if you sit down, if you wiggle your body, if you start jumping up and down, fear will automatically be reduced because your brain will need its capacity to focus on whatever it is that you're doing and not so much on whatever it is that you're thinking about what's going to happen next. That's the first thing.
Absolutely. You're shifting the entire mind there. So absolutely incredible. Yeah, get up and move.
Yes.
Absolutely. Brilliant advice, Jessica.
Do you want some more, Michael? Okay, that's one.
Yeah, give me a couple more.
Okay, that's one. Second one, anxiety usually, when it's recurrent, when we have a person who suffers from anxiety, that person usually has this happening several times a day or several times a week. So what happens to that person is there's an accumulation, an excess of negative chemicals caused by that person's brain that are running around inside his body in the bloodstream. Things such as cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and all those chemicals that are the ones that really get us ready to flee or fight when in a situation of danger. All those chemicals, as I was saying, unless properly eliminated and treated, get accumulated inside of our bodies and end up causing additional stress, additional anxiety. So if you want to counteract those negative chemicals in your body, start creating positive ones. Start counterbalancing the negative ones by creating positive ones, such as oxytocin, endorphins, serotonin, all those. Oxytocin is one of my favorites. Oxytocin is created and released by our brains whenever we feel loved, or whenever we love someone, or whenever we feel appreciated, or whenever we feel like we are appreciating somebody else. So start loving one another. Start giving hugs. Start looking for positive things in your life that make you create more and more bigger amounts of oxytocin. Third tip and last tip for today, whenever we're anxious and we need to relax, we can take recourse, we can use another chemical that our brain produces naturally, which is dopamine. Dopamine is created, for example, when the human being recalls pleasant memories. Isn't that an easy tip? Just go back just go back to your memories.
Yeah.
Look for good memories, fundamental good memories, and just let yourself feel the gratitude, the happiness of those good memories. Gratitude and good memories are two of the triggers for dopamine, and dopamine is a natural relaxant. Are those enough for today?
I think so. I've got one more question before I want to get into learning a little bit about Jessica, but this question intrigues me, and I think it'll be of interest to our listening audience as well. As you said, you basically founded humanology. How did you come up with that idea?
Well, I was working with many clients. I had already created optimism coaching and was successfully using it and offering it to many people. I was a certified life coach. I was using mentoring, teaching. I used to be a simultaneous interpreter in the past. There were certain life circumstances and situations that I think we're going to be discussing later if you're going to be asking me about myself that led me to working with human beings. At a certain moment, I realized I wasn't a coach because coaching is something very, very precise.
Hmm.
Coaching has a specific, very specific set of tools. Coaching works with human beings, yes, but helping human beings through very powerful questions look for their own answers inside of themselves. Well, I believe there are certain times and moments in which the human being just doesn't have the answer inside of himself and needs
That,
extra learning, extra knowledge, extra things. And in those cases, I'm not a coach, I'm a teacher or a
there you go.
mentor. Or so I realized that each human being needed a unique approach because we're all unique. And understanding human beings was the only key into giving them whatever it was that they needed. And little by little, by adding things and experiencing a lot, that's how humanology was born.
Wow. Incredible story, Jessica, and very, very interesting. So thank you for that. We are talking to Jessica J. Lockhart on Conversations with Jessica, and she is allowing me the honor of interviewing her. I'm Michael Brooks, the founder of the Coach on Fire Radio Network, and you can find out about Jessica's brand new show, Conversations with Jessica, which is going to go every 2 weeks from today on in. And Jessica, the time and anything else you need to add on the radio show? What time is it going to go? I think this time every other week. Is that right?
Yes, it's going to be on Wednesdays this time. That is 7 p.m. Central European time. It's going to be
Okay.
live. Then there's going to be podcasts that we'll try and disseminate out to. And it's usually going to be just me, but I might invite a few guests once in a
Okay.
while to make it more fun.
There you go. Cool. All right. So that's Can't Miss Radio. 2 weeks from today, Jessica's going to have an absolutely amazing show for you and be transforming and giving you just all sorts of value and content in that radio show. So mark it down on your calendars, 7 p.m. Central European time, and I think that's 10 a.m. here on the West Coast in San Diego, California, and would be 1 p.m. on the East Coast, and wherever time zone you're in, just use the time zone converter, but don't miss Conversations with Jessica, Humanology and Optimism, 2 topics that we can all need to live a better and more successful life. So thank you, Jessica. And Jessica, one more time, should people want to work with you, how can they get a hold of you again?
Okay, check out my website, www.jessicajlockhart.com. Google me, Jessica J. Lockhart. You will find my YouTube channel. You will find my Facebook pages. I have a fan page in Spanish and a fan page in English because everything I do is usually bilingual. I was raised bilingual, and that's how, well, I get to reach more people. There is a little show every Monday morning, our time here in Switzerland. That's called Happy Mondays, that always offers a few tips, a few ideas on how to start your week with a happy smile and how to have a better week ahead of yourselves. So if you're interested and you want to know about that too, just log on to my Facebook page in English and you can connect live every Monday. But that is only the tip of the iceberg. That has to do with optimism coaching, which is only a small part of humanology. Everything else is going to be presented here on Conversations with Jessica every 2 Wednesdays through Coach on Fire, because we need more time than just a few minutes to explain what humanology is all about. Please
There you go.
send me your
A
questions,
lot more.
send me your comments. info@jessicajlockhart.com, please.
Yeah, and this was just, of course, a very, very brief overview of a very complex and interesting and intriguing topic. So listen to Jessica's show, and you'll get a better feel, and it definitely will transform your life. So highly recommended. I'm absolutely honored and privileged that you're a part of the Coach on Fire Radio Network, Jessica, and can't wait for that first show. All right, tell me a little bit about you personally. What's the story and the journey of Jessica? What led you to this point to where you're helping people around the world?
Life led me there.
Okay.
I could say my life is being quite peculiar, not the regular life most people